Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Mr. Irwin bringing you today's math lesson. You see it on the screen. Today we're going to talk about graphing inequalities. So if you want to grab a notebook or a sheet of paper, something that you can record down the information and do the examples along with me, that would be great. So graphing inequalities. The purpose of graphing an inequality is to show all solutions that would satisfy the inequality or all solutions that would make an inequality true. If you remember from our previous lesson, inequalities can have multiple solutions. In fact, most of them have an infinite number of solutions. So rather than listing out every possible solution that makes every inequality true, we can instead create a visual representation, a graph of that inequality that would instead visually show us every possible solution to that inequality. Before we get to graphing, we need to talk about specific marks that we're going to use for our inequalities. Our first one on our graph, on our number line, we're going to place what's called an open circle. We use open circles for inequalities that do not include the given value in the solution set. In other words, any inequality we are graphing that features a less than symbol or a greater than symbol, we want to use the open circle to begin our graph with. Our other starting point is a closed circle. Think of it as a circle that is completely filled in. We're going to use a closed circle on inequality graphs where the given value is included or is part of the solution set. This would happen anytime we have a less than or equal to symbol or a greater than or equal to symbol. So take a second, copy these down if you need them. Open circle for less than or greater than, a closed circle for less than or equal to or greater than or equal to. All right, with those starting marks in mind, let's graph some inequalities. So the first inequality I want to graph is x is less than 3. If you could, pause the video for a moment, create yourself a number line. I like to have 5 tick marks on my number line, and then whatever the given value in the inequality is, in this case a 3, make that your center tick mark. So pause the video, make yourself a number line. When you're ready to graph, hit play, and we can do it together. All right, so let's graph the inequality x is less than 3. So essentially, I want to create a graph that would show every value that is less than 3. Well, because I'm comparing my variable to 3 in this inequality, my graph is going to begin at the number 3. Now I need to determine what starting mark should I use. From our previous slide, will I use an open circle or a closed circle? To do that, you need to test the given value in this inequality. So if my given value is 3, plug a 3 into x and ask yourself, is 3 less than 3? No, 3 is not less than 3, so 3 is not a solution to this inequality. So even though I want my graph to begin at 3, I do not want to include 3 in the solution set. So that's where we use the open circle. Remember, open circle for less than or greater than, and I definitely have a less than symbol here. So an open circle on 3 because 3 is not less than 3. And now I'm going to draw an arrow from that starting point in the direction of values that are less than 3. So from this point, do I want to move to the right or to the left to find values less than 3? Well, values less than 3 would be to the left of 3, so I'm going to draw an arrow to the left. And this arrow will extend forever and ever all the way to negative infinity. So all solutions or all values that are less than 3 would be covered by that graph. It's as simple as that. Let's try another example. Pause the video if you need to. Make yourself a number line with 5 tick marks. And we're going to graph the inequality m is greater than negative 7. To start that, I'm going to take my given value and place it in the center of my number line. And a very important piece of this graph is making sure our number line is graphed correctly. So if this is negative 7, the integer that would be directly to the left of negative 7 would be negative 8, and to the left of it would be negative 9. I'm going to do the same thing to the right, negative 7. To the right of it would be negative 6, and to the right of negative 6 is negative 5. So before you even graph your inequality, you must have your number line set correctly. If you have integers in the wrong position or in the wrong order, your graph's going to be incorrect just by default. My number line's ready to go. Let's graph m is greater than negative 7. So negative 7 is the given value. That is going to be the starting point of my graph. Now I need to determine, will I use an open circle or a closed circle to start this graph? Well, to do that, test -7. If I plug -7 in for m, is -7 greater than -7? Well, no, -7 does not have a greater value than -7, so I don't want to include -7 in my solution set, which means I'm going to begin my graph with an open circle. Now, direction of my arrow, I want values that are greater than -7. I will find that to the right of the number line. So from my starting point, we're going to draw an arrow pointing to the right. M is greater than -7. All right, our next example, t is less than or equal to 13. Again, you're going to need to draw yourself a number line on your sheet of paper. Pause the video, give yourself a number line with 5 tick marks, and then hit play when you're ready to graph with me. So t is less than or equal to 13. That means I'm going to take my given value 13 and place it in the center of my number line. Filling out the rest of my number line, values to the right would be increasing in value, so 14 and 15 to the right, and then from 13 to the left we should be decreasing. That would give me a 12 and an 11. Now my inequality, t is less than or equal to 13. I am definitely going to start my graph at 13, but do I want an open circle or a closed circle to begin this graph? Well, plug your given value into t. Is 13 less than or equal to 13? Well, 13 is equal to 13, so when I substitute 13 into t, this inequality is true. 13 is part of the solution set. So to begin this graph, I want to start with a closed circle. We want to color that circle completely in, meaning not only are we starting our graph at 13, but 13 will make this inequality true. Now, just like the other examples, I need an arrow in the direction of other values that make this inequality true. T is less than or equal to 13. Where would I find values that are less than 13? Well, I'd find them to the left of 13. So here's my graph for t is less than or equal to 13. A closed circle on 13 and an arrow pointing to the left. All right, final example here, a little trickier. We got the variable and the value on opposite sides of the inequality. So 1 is less than or equal to q. Again, my starting point is going to be 1 because that is the value being compared in my inequality. So on a number line, place 1 in the center, fill out the rest. Values to the right would be greater, so 2 and 3 to the right, and then 0 and -1 to the left. If I plug 1 into q, is 1 less than or equal to q? Yeah, they're equal to. A less than or equal to sign means I am beginning at 1 with a closed circle, so color it in, make it solid, and now 1 needs to be less than any value of q. So if you need to plug these values in, to the left of 1 is 0. If I put a 0 in here, is 1 less than or equal to 0? No. If I try to 2, is 1 less than or equal to 2? Yeah, 1 is less than 2. So numbers that make this inequality true are to the right of 1. So there's our graph for 1 is less than or equal to 2. Or q, excuse me. All right, guys, on the screen you see 3 more inequalities. A is less than 9, -4 is greater than or equal to b, and m is greater than or equal to -2. Go ahead, pause the video, graph these 3 inequalities, and then begin playing again to see how you did. All right, boys and girls, let's check your work and see how you did. Number 1, a is greater than 9. I put 9 in the center of my number line. I'm filling out 10 and 11 to the right, 8 and 7 to the left. A is greater than 9, which means I need an open circle, meaning I am starting my graph at 9, but not including 9 in this solution set. 9 does not make this true, and I want values that are greater than 9. They are to the right. Number 2, -4 is greater than or equal to b, so -4 is the starting point or the center point of my number line. Gives me -3 and -2 to the right, -5 and -6 are to the left of -4. This one is equal to, so I am including -4 in my solution set. Make sure you use a solid circle, a closed circle as our starting point. Now, -4 needs to be greater than any value of b, and to make that true, we are looking at values to the left. Finally, m is greater than or equal to -2. Make yourself a number line with a -2 on it. I'm going to put -1 and 0 to the right, -3 and -4 to the left. M is greater than or equal to -2. I am including -2 in this solution set, So use a closed circle to begin your graph, and then I need values that are greater than -2 for m. Those values appear to the right of -2. Well, there you have it, boys and girls. Make sure you complete the independent practice assignment for graphing inequalities. Take a picture of your work and graphs and upload that file for submission. I'll see you guys next time.